Using keychain can be really hard. There's a lot of code involved. So in this tutorial, I will teach you how to use keychain the easy way. You will learn everything you need to know about keychain. So go ahead and check out the chapters down below. Now, if you do want to learn keychain, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, open up Xcode, and let's dive in. Keychain, the place that you want to store the data in, which persists even after the user has deleted your app. And of course, you can retrieve it after the user reinstalls your app. So we are going to delve deep into keychain. This is not your average tutorial about keychain. We will talk about everything you need to know about keychain. And we are going to do that with the help of a GitHub repository from Square called Wallet. So let's dive deep into it. But before we do that, let me just remind you about Dev Factory, the coding accelerator, rebeloper.com/mentoring. That is where you want to go if you want me to help you with your coding projects. So, Square/Wallet on a GitHub. What you want to do is just go ahead and click on this copy button and add it into your project. I have created a new project here. All I did here is just added Wallet as a Swift package manager. If you don't know where to add that, just go under Swift packages and click on the plus sign and just add there that link, and that will download it. And I also added some interesting stuff here, like the app groups, because we want to show you how, well, I want to show you how you can share keychain between your apps, and of course, keychain sharing, where you can share keychain through different apps on your same developer account. Okay. So if you don't know what keychain sharing is and app groups, go ahead and check it out. Basically, keychain sharing enables you to have a shared keychain sandbox between different apps, and app groups is just having one app group that has a shared, of course, keychain right over here that we are going to build out. Okay, so let's go into our view controller and dive deep into the code. And what you want to do is just go ahead and import Wallet first. Now, keychain, we want to have some stored data. Those will be the values, and we can have strings and data or data. And of course, we want to have some keys. So let's just create these keys right away. And let's see, keys. And I will just create two keys, one for string values and one for data values. And that will be the key for the string values, Rebeloper, and let data key. That will be our Rebeloper data string. So these are the two keys. Now, with Wallet, we want to create something called identifiers. So we can have a lot of types of identifiers, and I will go through all of them right now, because when you are initializing a wallet and then saving, writing and reading data into there, you want to have an identifier and you want to have a key for that, because that wallet is just for that key only and for that identifier only. But what are identifiers? So let's create a basic identifier and you will understand what they are. So let identifier equals identifier, and as you can see, it's requiring a non-empty string. So let's just add in here Druida. Okay, and I will force unwrap this with the bang operator, but yeah, you could just leave it as an optional and unwrap it later on with a guard let statement or if let statement. Yeah, it's up to you. I will just use these bang operators for this tutorial, but yeah, you should never trust a bang operator, but yeah, let's just do this for the sake of this tutorial. Now, we want to share our keychain through keychain sharing and app groups. So the first one, let's just create a shared group identifier with app ID prefix. So yeah, I know it's a mouthful, but that's what it is. And let me just type this out first. So so shared group identifier with app ID prefix. And that will be a shared group identifier. with an app ID prefix, as you can see. Now, what are these app ID prefixes? Well, if you take a look at your bundle identifier inside App Store Connect, you will see some numbers there before your bundle identifier. Now, that is your Apple ID, your app ID. Those are the numbers that you want to add in here. So that is basically the developer's ID, so-called. So app ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those are just numbers, not IS, but app ID. There it is. Now, what is the non-empty group? Now, you want to go ahead and create right over here under capabilities a keychain sharing. So go ahead and click capability and add keychain sharing. By default, it will just grab your bundle identifier, but I usually add dot shared items. So let me just copy this out and go back and paste it in there, but it needs to be a string. So basically that's it. We have a shared group identifier with app ID prefix. Now let's move on to another type and the last type of shared group identifiers, and that will be with the app groups. So let app ID prefix, and I will add in here not app ID prefix but group prefix. With group prefix, and that will be a shared group identifier. And now we just choose a group prefix. Now for the group prefix, let's add a group, and for the non-empty group, let's just add, and let me just go again to our capabilities. You can see we have group.com.rebeloper keychain wallet. So when you add your capability and you click on this plus sign, you will be asked to add a group dot and something, and I usually add my bundle identifier. So yeah, this is what you want to copy out, your bundle identifier, because you have already added in the group prefix. If you want to change that, you can do that. It's up to you, but these are the conventions that I usually follow. Okay, we have our keys, our identifiers, and now it's time for a basic initialization. So let's just add in here. Okay, so let's create the wallet. So let my wallet. Okay, and that will be a wallet. And wallet with, and yeah, you just want to choose this one. Wallet with identifier, and I would just choose the plain old identifier. And accessibility. Let's talk a little bit about accessibility. Now, if you just add a dot here, you can see after first unlock, when unlocked this device only. So yeah, I would choose when unlocked. This is the accessibility flag, which tells the device, okay, you may access the keychain with the help of this wallet when the device is unlocked, and so on. So you can just simply jump to definition, right click on it and jump to definition, and you can see and read all about the 6 cases there. And yeah, you just choose whatever you want and whatever you see fit here. The main point is that you want to give as much security to the user as possible. So as a rule of thumb, make it really, really hard to access that keychain. Okay, so let's move on, and let's just create a wallet that is shared. So shared wallet, and let's have here app ID prefix. Okay, and shared. Let me just correct that. Shared. Oh, I kind of mumbled those letters out there. So let's just name this shared wallet. So let shared wallet. Okay, and this will be a specific wallet. So let's just go ahead and type in the module. So wallet dot, and now shared group wallet. And as you can see, it's requiring a shared group identifier, which I will add. Shared group identifier with app ID prefix, and the accessibility, let's have it again when unlocked. And yeah, basically this is how you want to initialize it. But as you can see, this shared group identifier app ID prefix returns an optional. So yeah, let's just bang those out. I just forgot about those, but yeah, that should fix it. Okay, this is the shared wallet. Now let's create another shared wallet. Let's say shared wallet 2. And yeah, you will be able to access these wallets. You just choose the one that you want, and yeah, just go on with the tutorial afterward. So now we want to have shared group wallet with a group prefix. Okay, and when unlocked. Okay, so these are basically the two wallets that can be shared. Okay, let's move forward and let's take a look. What if we do want to share this keychain through iCloud? Now that is also possible. Let's create a wallet for that. So let cloud wallet equals wallet. Sorry about that. Wallet dot iCLOUD wallet. Okay, so yeah, that is with an identifier, and let's just choose the simple identifier here because we are going to show you with the group access also. And accessibility, again, just choose whatever is best for you. Now we want to do cloud sharing with the groups. So again, there will be two. Let's see, let shared and shared cloud wallet. That will be the one that I want to add, wallet.iCloud. And now we will choose the second one, shared iCloud shared group wallet with identifier. And let's just choose the first one with an app ID prefix. And when unlocked, and let me just copy this out and paste it again here, wallet 2, and now I will choose with group prefix. Okay, so that's the second one. Now there is still another way, and the most secure way to store these values in your keychain, and that is the secure enclave. And we can do like two kind of initializations. The first one will ask always for user presence, and the second one will will ask only on the first when you are first trying to access the data. So let my secure enclave wallet equals, again, let's just go secure enclave wallet dot wallet with identifier. That's okay. Identifier is okay, and access control. And now you can see that we have different access control properties here: biometric, any biometric current set, device passcode. Let's just use user presence. Go ahead and check out the comments for all the other ones. Okay, now the next one is when we want to have only a single prompt. So as you can see, let me just add in here a comment so we know that we are in the enclave. Okay, now we want to have a single prompt. So let's just name this 2. I don't want to type all of that out. And now we just use single prompt secure enclave wallet and dot wallet with access control. And now we want to have the identifier here. And again, user presence is required. Okay, so those are the ways that you can initiate or initialize a wallet. There are a lot of ways, and it all depends on your use case. Now, if you have already created your wallet and you have saved some data into it, how would you just kind of migrate from one accessibility to the other? Now, let me just type this out. So let's see. Let's have this migration comment here, and let's create my old wallet. So let my old wallet equals a simple wallet, and you could just do this for all of them. Wallet dot wallet, and let's have this as an identifier and accessibility when unlocked. Okay, so this is my old wallet. Now let's create my new wallet. Equals wallet dot, again, wallet with identifier. So the identifier needs to be the same. Now the accessibility, let's have it after first unlock. So this is where I want to change it. So what we want to do is just migrate all of the objects. So this will throw, so I will just go on and hit the try optional, my new wallet, and migrate objects. And I will just choose the one remove on completion, because I would just want to remove that wallet upon completion. And now just add in my old wallet there and remove on completion true. Okay, and basically that's it. That is how you migrate with accessibility. Now, before we dive into writing and reading, we still need to have some stuff covered. And that is, let's say, do we have access to the keychain? Now, I'm just, let's see, access. And I will just print this out. So print and can access keychain. Now, you might want to use this in an if statement, so if can access keychain, but this is what you want to add in here. And I will choose my new wallet and just dot can access keychain. As you can see, it is just returning a Boolean value, either true or false. And now you can move on by doing your keychain stuff. Okay, next up is just writing. Now, writing is as simple as possible. So writing, it's also going to throw, but let's see. Try. Of course, you can do the do catch statement if you want to. Try my new wallet dot set string for key. As you can see, it's throwing. So the string will be, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the key will be just the simple key that we created earlier in this tutorial, because this is a string. Now, we can set strings, but we can also set some data. So my new wallet set object, and now you can see the object needs to be a data. Now, I'm just going to create an object from a string, but that's just ABCD and data using UTF-8.UTF-8. There it is. And the key will be our data key now. Because this will return optional, let's just bang that out. Again, you want to not use bang operators. Okay, so that is how you write some objects or strings into your keychain. Now, next up, we want to check if we do have containing objects. And again, I will just do this with a print statement. Okay, so and while we are here, let me just build and run, and let's see if we can access keychain at all, because otherwise it would be useless. So I'm just running on a simulator. It doesn't really matter. What we should see here is just printed out can access keychain. So let's just wait for that. And there it is. Can access keychain true. Really, really nice. Okay. So we hopefully have written that. But before we kind of retrieve that, let's just check if we have those keys. And let's say contains object. And let's just print it out again. So print contains object. Okay. And let's see, I want to check for the key. So let's add in here our key. Okay, so what we are going to do is just again try my new wallet and contains object, and this will throw, and the object should be for the key of key. There it is. And yeah, this needs to be a string, so let's just add in string describing. Okay, so let's just build and run again, and now we should see that contains object key is optional and it is true. Really nice. Okay, so now that we know that this key actually exists in the keychain, now it's time to read. Now we can read a lot of ways, but yeah, let's just start with the simple way, reading, and yeah, let my value equals, and again try my new wallet and string for key of key. And basically that's it. And now let's just print that out, and let's see my value, and I just print that out, my value. Okay, and that is as simple as it gets. Of course, you may add in here string describing string, but let's just build that out and see if we do get back those numbers that we saved. Yay, hooray. Okay, so now that is how you can read, and you might stop here, but please don't. We have a lot more to cover and a lot more interesting stuff. Next up is that we want to set some data. So let my data value, or get rather, try my new wallet, that is what we want, and object for key and data key. There it is. Okay, and we want to print that out also. So print my data value and my data value. And what you want to do here is basically this is going to be a data. So I'm just going to unwrap this. So let me just rephrase this. So string with data. Let's see, string, come on. Data and my data value and encoding UTF-8. I believe that should fix it. And maybe let's, yeah, for the data value, it needs to be unwrapped. So let's add a bang there. And now just add string describing. I know it's quite a lot, but that will do the thing. So now let's see if we do get back that ABCD that we just saved. Yay, ABCD, my data value is that. Now, that is how you can read. Now let's read all the keys. Okay, let's just print that out also. And let's see, all keys. And yeah, my new wallet. These are really simple functions that you want to add in here. And of course, because yeah, this throws, you want to add a try here. And it will ask us to have a string describing. Okay, string. There it is. String describing try my new wallet all keys. So let's build and run again. And now we should see those two keys, Rebeloper and Rebeloper data. There it is, all keys. And of course, these are optional, but yeah, you can already handle optionals. Finally, we want to remove some objects or remove all objects. Okay, so let's just go try, let's say my new wallet, and let's just remove the object, and as you can see it's throwing, so it's good that we have try here. And for key, our key. Now that will remove the object. Now let's just try to print it out let's see if we actually did remove that. So let my new value equals, let's see, try, let's just grab that. So try my new wallet. Okay, and let's say string for the key of key. And finally, we want to print that out. Let's see, my new value. There it is. And we want to print out my new value. Okay, now this should print out nil. So let's see if that really worked. And of course, we can have here string describing string, my new value nil. Okay, and let's just fix this. Now let's just remove all of the objects. So yeah, let's just add in here a new string. So try my new wallet set string, and let's just add in back there 1 2 3 4 5 for the key of key, and let's just remove all objects. So try my new wallet, remove all, that is it, remove my new, not value, wallet. I knew that something wrong here. Remove all objects. There it is, and it's throwing. Really, really nice. Now, if we removed all objects, we might want to again grab the new value and print it out. So I would just simply copy that out and paste that in, but let's just add in here 2 and 2. Okay, my new value 2. Okay, so again, it should also print out my new value 2 equals nil. How awesome is that? And now you know everything you need to know about using Keychain. Keychain is really, really awesome, and now you know how you can use it. Now, if you do want to learn another way of implementing Keychain, check out my other Keychain tutorials in the cards above. And if you do like this video, go ahead and hit that notification bell, because in the next video, I am going to talk about Google Maps. Now, while you wait for that, make sure to check out these videos as well too. I talk a lot about Swift UI, Swift in general, UI kit, and as usual, I will see you in the next one.